What's up, Metal Summoners? It is so great to see you guys, as always, right in the middle of the week, kicking off the weekend. Welcome to your Island of Misfit Toys. We always appreciate you guys tuning in every week, supporting us, supporting our guests, and allowing us to put together all these amazing, amazing shows for you. As always, I'm one of your hosts, along with the great Angel Alamo, and we are stoked to talk it up a little bit. And we are going to bring in our good friend and TMS alumni of the show very, very shortly. But I'm going to kick it over to Angel real quick to give a little bit of a recap on a very, very cool event that he did over the course of last weekend that was great for the music scene, great for local bands, and it sounded like it was an all-around great time. That sounded like a good one. Wouldn't you say, Angel? It was a good time last weekend at the Landis Theater.
Man, it's tough when you have four great bands and you have to pick a winner. And coincidentally, not making this up, the winner turned out to be Metal Summit alumni, Nitro, who actually won the contest, but the other bands, 4130 and the two other bands performing, they did an awesome job. Definitely thanks to the Landis Theater, a venue that's in Violin, New Jersey, which is an hour from Philly, 2 hours from Baltimore. Great venue. They got a lot of shows coming up soon, so definitely hope everybody checks them out. You'll definitely see us at some of the shows as we're working on a partnership with the Landis Theater.
Absolutely, man, 100%. And a quick little follow-up question for you before we bring in our good friend Ray, that I think is a kind of a cool thing to let kind of the fans know a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. Yourself as a judge, of course, with the mingling that you would have done with your fellow judges, what would you say were some of the key points that you as judges were looking for when it came to the bands and their performances?
Well, live performance, definitely the interaction with the crowd. The songwriting, how original was it? But the band 4130, I was just impressed with their playing. They were just fucking
Nice.
heavy. It's like they came to take no prisoners, boss to the walls, rock and roll, and that's what I fucking loved. And then you had another band that's heavily influenced by Jim Morrison, so it's amazing to have three 18-year-old kids playing rock and roll the way that they were playing. So kudos to them. Because, to be 18 and be influenced by Jim Morrison, how fucking awesome is that?
Absolutely, man, 100% for sure. And rock's not dead, man. We're bringing in the younger generations, man, and we are all about that. We're all about supporting that scene, and we're all about just a good time had by all. Speaking of people who have a good time and allow for a good time to be had by all, we want to take this opportunity to thank as well as welcome TMS alumni from way back when we were the M3 Summit. From Spread Eagle, we've got Ray West joining us this evening. Ray, welcome back, brother, and thank you so much for returning.
My pleasure, man. This is, you know what, everybody's podcasting and just it's all about getting the word out, making conversation, doing the right thing, connecting with people. This is fucking great. Thank you for having me. You guys are all fucking
Absolutely
great. This is fun.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you so much. And just a little fun little recap. It's been about a year since we all got to hang with you in Philadelphia for Masquerade when you played that event, man. So it's great to see you again also, man.
Yeah, man. It's been like, since then we've been grinding it out, as you know. So it's number one, it's good to be healthy and be here and be alive. So what I've learned a lot too since Philly. First of all, it was a great time. That was a fun gig because I felt like it was a bit of a coming out party for us, And we've been grinding a lot of shows out, as you know. So the year's been great. I'm happy to be here with you guys. And Philly's just a great town.
Awesome, man. Absolutely. So we'll jump right into a little bit of Spread Eagle talk. Why don't you talk a little bit about what Spread Eagle has going on right now with the grind that you guys have been doing? We know that you have shows coming up as well as early September, but you've definitely been out and about and playing. So fill everybody in on what you would say 2023 has been doing so far for Spread Eagle.
It's just been about, resurrecting this beast we know is Spread Eagle and letting people see that it's a really great live experience, because it's like every band's doing their thing, but what's the show about? What's the message? You know what I mean? If you just want to get up there and play songs, anybody can get up there and play songs from A to Z. but it's like, why should people come see the band? You know what I mean? It's a great live vibe, and you know this.
Yes.
So, like creating positivity, a place for people just to want to go. Like when, I like to see that when there's this radio show, people, that's the place to be, because that's everybody, you know, a sense of rock and roll community happens. You know, and we're a part of that. It's great to be bringing that back. So it's, you know, it's a lot of hard work. You know, a lot of travel. Sometimes it's not as glamorous as people think it is. You know, your planes, trains, automobiles constantly. You don't sleep. You don't sleep. Let me repeat myself. You don't sleep. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I love what I do now. For a little while, you know, I fell out of love with the sport, and I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I feel like we're supposed to be doing this thing and bringing it back to life and seeing the people. It's a good live band, and I think, you know, just the people that are in the band, the way the band gets along, we're all positive. It's a very brotherly vibe, but it's legit, you know. So resurrecting a band that took a lot of time off, a lot of years off, has been a difficult task. But right now, I think all the work, the grind, is paying off. So we have most of August off. We're going to do a nice show in Georgia for our friend Scully, but we're going to go to Europe in September, and we're talking like, you know, it's not a couple days on and some days off. It's like every day. So, you know, the thing that guys in bands say, I wish I could do this every night, right? So you got to be careful what you wish for. And then we it's happening. So songs are in the works, you know, new albums in the works, but because we have a lot of touring going on, we had to sort of take a little break from writing and recording. So it's all that. The band's out to play. We're out with a vengeance. Just to make our mark again, you know, to make our presence felt. You know, there's a lot of good things happening for this band as far as like moving up a notch in intensity and level of things. Exactly. And as you see, let me see. I don't think there's, oh my God, there's not a day off in there somewhere. Is that the real schedule?
Just one day off, the 25th.
That's your UK, and you got
that's the actual
one
schedule
day.
for European tour.
There's not a day off, guys.
You get one day to sightsee on the 25th.
So basically, you know, the style of the style I sing in this band, it's a bit intense, you know. So it's like, I guess I'll have to spend most nights doing the set and then just shut up most of the day, which is difficult. Rob says I should just walk around with a little sign, you know, and draw on again, or learn sign language or something. But it's what I've always wanted, you know, to be playing shows and be back doing this. And at this point in my life, I feel like I'm in the right place, you know, with the right people. You know, me and Robert are super tight. He's like my more my brother than anybody, you know, can be. Rick DeLuca is a great person. We've had some guitar players do some things. So, you know, Hunter's going to go with us to Europe, and we're just working our asses off. I can't explain to you, you know, the amount of love there is for doing this thing, and for getting on a plane, for going far, leaving your home, leaving your family. You know, but I enjoy it so much. This is what I want to do until I drop dead. So I'll rock till I drop, period.
Absolutely, man, 100%. And I mean, you know how much myself and Angel, who's rocking his shirt right now, you know, how much we love the band and how much we respect you and appreciate you guys. The one thing that I think would be kind of cool that I think the fans would love to know is like, as well as myself and Angel, when it comes to Subway to the Stars, like, how has it been with that continued, frankly, you know, celebration of this new music? You mentioned just a moment ago that there's new songs in the works. There's a new album coming, which is absolutely fantastic, and we're stoked about that. But what's kind of also been this very cool extended celebration that, you know, COVID might have had a little bit to do with, considering there was that gap where nobody could perform for anybody. But how do you currently look back on the release of Subway to the Stars with this new music and fusing it with, of course, the classic album and everything that you've done in between?
Right. Well, you know, with this new batch of songs, you have to translate everything to live, right? So my first thing was, are people going to accept this? People that are friends of this band are very demanding. You guys, you know, it's like we're not just ABC rock and roll. This is very musical stuff, you know. I'm the kind of person that I have so much faith in these songs, on the Subway songs, that I said, let's open the set with that shit.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not like we had a bunch of hits back in the day. You know, our place is to like sell this live thing. Like, you know, when you hear the first song, even if you've never heard the band before, it's like, man, that's a cool groove. I lock in with that. you know. So it's all kind of like cohesive, you know. It's always an extension of everything. It's where we are now as musicians. It's our musical taste at the moment. You know, we've grown up. Had a lot of different life experiences. My voice has changed over the years. I had to relearn my register in the past year because I had an incident happen last summer that was fucked up, and you know, we've made a nice transition into this live thing that we call Spread Eagle. You know, so whether it's playing this stuff off the first record, open to the public, there's something about these Subway to the Star songs translate very well live.
Sure.
You feel me? So it's been great feedback. People do tend to tell me what they'd like to hear, and that's cool, you know. But we work so hard on the set, and we finally got a flow to the set. You guys know how it goes, man.
Yeah.
It takes so much time to get the set list right, and when you get used to it, it's time to change something again. So it's been a great experience bringing this thing back to life and connecting the dots with the first record to this record. Yes, COVID stalled a lot of things for us. But we kept the faith, you know, we kept together, we kept writing. So the one thing was, you know, as far as it being extended, it's great to have a chance now to really sink our teeth into these songs and let it do its thing live and let it connect with people, you know, so they can learn the songs and sing them back and however that works, you know. So I just feel lucky. It's an honor. It's a privilege to play rock and roll.
Absolutely.
It's a fucking privilege. So I don't take it for granted. You guys know we hang out. It's like,
yeah.
You know, I'm real open, you know, and I've always been like that. I always want to, you know, hang out with people and talk shop. And if you like the band, great, let's talk about it, our lives, whatever. It's become more than rock and roll. To me, it's become like this. It's the place to be. It's my happy place. I'm a bitch if I'm not fucking doing it. You know, my family will attest to that. So yeah, I think it's working well. I think the extended period has done us actually. It's worked for us because we get to now just make this happen, you know. So. We lose a couple years, but that's okay. We just got to stay busy. I hope I answered the question.
Absolutely.
You know, I tend to go off.
Not a problem at all, man. One more question from me in my segment before I kick it up to Angel and the fans that I thought was kind of cool, that kind of triggered this question with something that you just said. Over the years, and like you said, with the changing of your voice, does it change your writing style? So I remember years ago just hearing a casual comment that I heard Don Dawkins say in regards to the Dream Warrior song, which a lot of people are very familiar with, that he does sing back in the day in a very high pitch. Where I remember hearing in an interview, he was like, dude, I can't believe I sang it so high, knowing that I probably wouldn't be able to duplicate that years down the line. With now, when you're writing, do you can take your vocal style into consideration now when you write?
Always, man, whether it's tuning, whatever. I mean, you learn to adapt, you know. I feel like when I first started doing this thing, I had no control of what I was doing. I was really raw. You know, they put me on the microphone and it was just like, just go. So you gave it everything you got. When you're singing at 1,000 miles an hour in the studio and you get the track sometimes, you know, line by line or maybe a whole verse, live you can't do that. So no one is going to be like that live, you know. So you just got to do the best you can. You paint the best picture you can live, you know, and trust your talent's going to get you through it. But it's all feel, man. You know, you write we don't necessarily write because of. Let's say what's up. In the past year, I've rebuilt my register back up, right? So I'm able to do certain. You know, we're doing Broken, we're doing all those songs. So I'm not in fear of any tuning changes or any sort of register things. If it's something that I feel we can do, I do it. If I have to push myself and record it 1,000 times to get it done, I'll do that, because to me the recording really matters. That's such a snapshot. It's such a moment in time, and you got to give it everything you possibly got. You know, so I'll go at 1,000 miles an hour to get that note. You feel me? And if you write something where I have to go up a little bit now, because some people are like, well, Subway's great, man, but you're not doing the high stuff. Well, wait, you know, maybe we'll do it down the line, but I feel like I'm very comfortable with. Wow, that's the best way to put it. I feel like I've grown into the voice I have now comfortably.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So whether it's singing Spread Eagle or singing Superfly stuff, I can sort of like, you know, change with it, like what Chameleon, right? Just change around a little bit, you know. I haven't had a problem really. It's been a matter though of building up stamina and my register and getting back to singing at more the high end of things comfortably. Like when we were playing in Philadelphia, I was like, oh shit, we're gonna do Broken City, and that song would come up and I'd be like, oh shit, now I don't sweat it anymore.
Right on. Was there ever a time that you just kind of sweated your vocal delivery, or was it just a matter of just getting used to changes in style?
I like different styles of music, so I like to explore. I never got stuck in one thing, and that's the cool thing about Spread. If you write, it's very eclectic sometimes. You can write in different, go different places. Although the Subway album is very sort of linear and cool. It's like, it sounds like Spread Eagle on that record.
Yeah.
It's a grown up Spread Eagle, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
No, no worries, brother. Absolutely, man. No, I definitely understand it, man. Angel, Joanne, let's kick it up to you guys for a little bit.
Well, we said we're going to do fan questions, so I'll let Joanne.
Oh, okay. And by the way, that was a great question. I get a little flustered. I'm like, man, I'm trying to think of the perfect answer.
How you doing, Ray?
Oh yeah, no, for sure, Ray. No worries. I mean, hey, and if something involving that kind of pops in, of course, man. Talk about it, brother. It's all good, man, for sure.
Let me explain something real quick.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've always been the kind of person that's a little bit insecure when I was younger, and a little bit on the neurotic side. You're a rock singer, you know what I mean? But when I first got into this business, I was very insecure. I walk the walk and talk the talk, but you have to do that. You got to carry yourself a certain way, But because of that, I got into trouble. I'm always full bore, man. It's always 100,000. It's always as fast as you can, and I live like that. So my voice has been through a lot, but luckily I've come back, and it seems like it's okay. But man, there's a time where I really had a crisis of confidence, and I think I've never been like the most confident singer in the world. But I know when it comes time to get down to business and the red light comes on, I handle my business.
Yeah,
because it's very serious when you're in the box. It's all fun and games. You can joke about it and this and that, but when you're performing for people, it's very serious business. And I take the craft very serious now more than ever. Because I'm like a natural singer, so I felt like I never had to really work at it. And now, as I'm older, it's like I got to work hard at it.
Sure. Absolutely, no problem. Angel, Joanne, sorry about that. I just wanted to give the floor back to Ray to wrap up his thoughts on that particular question. But absolutely, friends, let me kick it right back up to you guys. How are you doing this evening? And it looks like we're already getting some love from the Metal Summoners.
Hey, Ray. Excited to talk to you again. I've met you a few times up at Dingbats. I've actually seen you five times between July of last year and May. Took the picture of you and your belt. Wondering if your belt has been behaving lately. Don't know if you remember that picture.
That's the way I wear it. It looks like my dick is now.
I just want to tell you, I became a fan of Spread Eagle through one of Rob's side projects that he was working on. I saw him performing with someone else, with a different band, was totally blown away by him, started following Spread Eagle, and was a fan of yours because of Spread Eagle. But what really made me a fan of Ray West was when a mutual Facebook friend shared with me your Weapons of Anew work, your All Points West, and then also seeing you live. So I was wondering, would you like to share some information with us about some of those other projects that you've worked on, maybe some different genres you worked in? And I also want to tell you the reason why your live performance get me is it's your energy that draws me in. You've got an amazing stage presence because it seems like you're just you on stage, and it just draws you in. It's amazing.
Oh, well, thanks. And it's like I said, so the comfort level I have now is mainly when I get in the box. Like that's when I'm my true self. I believe that. You're whatever that thing is in you that needs to shine, it comes out of those moments, and I've learned it's about being humble. The love people show me, it's overwhelming, and it's like you got to handle it with some humility and really, really humble about it. So I want to make everybody in that, I'm a people pleaser. So I want to make everybody in that room happy as possible and just be happy to be in the room. And we do it with each other, not just with me, but with each other, So we're all like creating this great sense of rock community. And that's important. So I thank you. And I really just feel very comfortable because I think the energy I get from people lets me be that way, And when I don't get that, I can be very, a bit much, a little extra. But, I love soul music. I was raised on Motown and rock and roll. I'm a rock and soul guy, So the projects I like I like the groove. I like music that's heavy, and I like to sing different styles. I think with my voice, I can get away with that, And the cool thing is from what I've been told, I don't sound like a lot of people. Like if you hear me, it's me, right? So the APW project was something that I did with a co-writer friend of mine, Miguel Gonzalez. I call him Mean. He's a great producer, songwriter, and we just clicked really well. We wrote these batch of 10 songs, and they just sort of just sat around. I was going to release it, and I didn't put the work into it because as I was doing that, the Weapons of a New Band came along, and I got a little distracted with that, So now that that's all said and done, I love things like the Deftones. I love that Tool. I even though I play in the rock genre, I can appreciate everything, right? Because that's what we do. We take. I'm not a musical bigot of any kind. So if I hear something I like, I want to do that. It's not where I can't do that for any reason. I have to do that. So I like my music heavy. I like my grooves big. I like it funky, but I like it heavy. You know what I mean? So APW is now called Superfly, and we retuned a lot of songs. We wrote a lot of things, Miguel and I. So that's going to be on Deco Records in October. That's coming out. So I haven't made a big stink about it yet because we're just putting stuff together. But my experiences in certain bands have all been great. The Weapons thing didn't work out. There was some personality things I won't get into because I saw a video today that they released, and it's my voice on it, but somebody else is miming the track. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But I love the Weapons music that we wrote was cool. That first record is awesome. It's awesome. So I'm a big fan of that music and the band's music, and it was we did some good tours, But my heart is with Superfly because it's heavy, it's cool, I love it. It's like my personal bio. The songs are very, very personal, and I think to answer your question, I like to just stretch myself and try different things. If I could do just a whole funk record, I would probably do that too, But wouldn't do a country record. But you see things like that to me, it's really humbling, And I love some country. I love like Zach Brown and all that shit. But I'm not the guy to do that, Maybe I'll try that. You know what? I'm gonna try to do a country song because I'm just feeling it. I'm being an asshole now. I'll say because the love I have for what I do, the fact that you get it, is everything, right?
That's amazing. I do get it, and that's what I love. Like, there's so many, frontmen that get up on stage, raise your hands, but you just egg everybody on through your personality and your sense of humor, and I love that.
Look,
what microphones do you prefer to use?
I like a nice Sennheiser. I think it's an 835 or something because my voice needs a little bit of a boost sometimes, and it's a very powerful mic. I like, everybody uses a Shure because it's everywhere, it's durable, but I like a nice Sennheiser. I like the way it just fits mine. And what's the model that I use? That's so sad I don't know the model, but I like Sennheiser. And let's go back to Rock 101. We all grew up on the David Lee Roth. We've all seen it 1,000 times. So why just see the same shit again? Why be cliche? We're not phoning it in. So just go up there and be yourself, and that's how we connect, right? So I don't want to be like, I can't hear you when I can fucking hear you. It's stupid. And then you're going to think I'm an asshole. So, it's keep the night as authentic and as real as possible. You know me, man. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Throwing some pearls here.
It makes perfect sense.
And even like when you come up, all right, if someone's come up to me, I'm not going to be an asshole about it. But if someone takes the time to approach me and it's from the heart, who am I to blow them off and be like, I'm too cool, to talk to them? You know what I mean? We do this. If it wasn't for you guys, we'd just be 4 guys up there fucking playing with ourselves. It doesn't work without everybody. It's all one thing. And the guys that are in these bands that are phoning it in and do all the rock and roll cliches, they got to understand that. And they're going to get laughed out at the building. Put your hands up, man. I can't hear you.
I just have one more question, and then I'm going to turn it over to Angel. Um,
Can't hear.
can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so I just have one more question before I turn it over to Angel. What advice would you give to an aspiring singer?
Oh wow. Learn whatever the new business model is, because the music business that I grew up in doesn't exist anymore. Right? It just doesn't exist anymore. Now it's all about streaming, and it's what it is. We are peer-to-peer salesmen, right? I've got to come to your house or your venue, whatever, and sell you my wares. You know, so realize that it's about connecting with people. It's not about being cliche. Get a great lawyer. Learn entertainment law. Learn what the fucking words say on the paper, because you're going to get fucked if you sign with someone. Know what you're signing. Don't sign anything until you've been to zoom.com and talk to your favorite lawyer. Right? That's the number one thing, because everybody's out to make money off somebody. You know, no one's managing for free. You know, unless there's two kinds of people that do this business. There's the hobbyists, which are the guys that have, like, you know, a business or something, right? And they make lots of money. They got money in their pockets. They don't need to be doing this. So on the weekends, they want to be a rock star, so they buy boost lights. You know, they say all the cliche things, right? And then there's the purists, the guys that go to those places where no other bands want to play, but they play because they love doing it, right? Am I getting too serious? You got to love this. So if you don't love it, if it's not fun, don't do it. If you don't know entertainment law, learn that shit, and find people that really are good rock and roll people. There's a lot of low moral character out there. There's guys that don't care about the fans, and they just do it for their ego, you know. And they have people around them that feed their ego. You need to be real with people. So be real. Learn the law, right? Don't sign nothing without a lawyer looking at it. And be yourself. Be fucking authentic, man. Be authentic. Don't be full of shit. Because it's a very small business, and they're gonna fucking find out, right?
Yeah.
It's like that joke about cocaine. Was it? Well, cocaine intensifies my personality. But what if that person's an asshole? Right? So the business is small, man. Everybody knows everybody. So be a good person, man. If you don't want to have fun, you know, if it's not fun, don't do it. So that's what I tell you. If you're playing for money and you're not loving it, get out. Do something else. This is a pure of heart thing. If you don't feel it, if you're not authentic, it's not going to work for you. You're not going to be happy. That might have been too heavy.
Mic drop.
Now I'm going to do that.
This a long time.
Also,
Right?
Not at all.
It's-
Not at all. You're speaking from the heart, and that's what we want.
It's good advice.
Yeah.
If you told me,
Seriously, get a fucking lawyer.
yeah, and if you told me I'd be doing this now in my life at the rate and intensity that I'm doing it at, I would have laughed you out of the building. You know, because when you're back in the day, it was like the Rolling Stones. What are they doing? Why are they still out there? You know, and it's like, as then you get older, and you're like, but this is part of my DNA, and the people that like what we do are part of that as well. That's why we have the cruises and all that, because our generation loves rock and roll. We love the live rock show. And it doesn't matter what the genre is. If it's good, it's good. Rock and roll is rock and roll. You can have Korn play with fucking, you know, a different genre band, but it's still rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? And I think Spread Eagle is just, you know, we're where we're supposed to be, you know, doing what we're supposed to be doing for the right reason. We love this stuff, man. You guys met Rick, my drummer Ricky, right? Our drummer Ricky, not mine, our drummer Ricky. It's like there's this great superhuman alien being that just loves to sit on the groove, you know. And Rob is a workhorse. Rob is a great guy, great human, and Hunter is a great guy, and I just love what we do, man. I love my brothers. I can say that and like really mean it, and not be full of shit.
Yeah. No, you guys have always been super cordial to us, 100%. Like at Masquerade, for example, like I was talking to Rob, you know, he would not let me leave the merch till he was like, dude, what size do you wear? I want to get you a shirt. And I was like, dude, I have a wallet. I have a bank account. It's all good. He's like, I don't care. And
No, he's a sweetheart, man. People meet
Yeah.
Rob, and it's like they can't believe that kind of like genuine kindness can come from someone, you know.
Yeah.
And the flip side of Rob is, if you know him, is that he cannot be so nice. It's like
Right.
I wouldn't want to be on his bad side, because he's like, you get that. I want the happy guy. You don't want him on the bad side.
No, definitely want the happy guy. And speaking of a happy guy, Angel, you're a happy guy. Let's kick it back to you.
Yes, and I want to keep the fans happy, so to dive into the fan questions. Will your new stuff come out on vinyl?
God, I hope so. It's not something I can predict. It depends on the deal and how it's worked out. You get so many things of this. You guys can do, here's the deal. You guys can have so many things of this and that and that. So I would love to see it happen. People are playing vinyl. We're playing vinyl. It sounds fucking great. It's warm. The funny thing is, though, it's be more of a souvenir, because the recordings from back in the day that are on the knees and those warm boards, all those cool little mistakes, that was the beauty of vinyl. The new stuff is digitally recorded most times, so, but we always find a neat board to mix on, so I'd like to do that. I think that'd be great. I hope it happens. I want one.
Me too.
Music one day is going to be a pill.
Early on,
Take a pill. Next.
early on, what did you think was unique about the New York heavy glam compared to other parts of the U.S.?
New York City has a certain energy to it that you won't find anywhere else. You just won't. And I've traveled, I've seen some places, and I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. And it's not like I was born there, so I was born in Brooklyn, so I think it's the greatest city in the world. Of course I do, because I was born there, but you live it. There's a certain energy though. When that town gets behind a rock and roll band, there's nothing like it. It's everything. It's everything from from Queens to Yonkers to Brooklyn. It's Lower Manhattan. You feel it. So there's a great support. So the scene, when we were coming out of New York City in the early about 90, was really tight. There's a lot of great bands. It was a great sense of community. The competition was legit. And don't ever get that wrong. Rock and roll is a competition when there's local bands involved, hence your Battle of the Bands, whatever that was. But it's a competitive environment. So New York is great. It's a competitive place. The energy is raw, it's fast. People are honest. You can't hide from people in New York City. You can go to somewhere like California and hide. And New York is so close together, there's nowhere to hide. So the glam scene with this, I liked, what was it, Velvet Underground? Velvet Underground? I'm a fan of all those early New York bands. I'm a fan of New York City and what it does for bands. It's changed a lot over the years. People have gravitated now to Brooklyn, but it's still New York City, right? So I loved it. It was great competition. It gave you a sharp edge, and New York is very like, fuck it if you don't like it. Go fuck yourself.
Sorry.
Oh, what's the whistle cup? Who's got the doggy?
Oh, they do. Ah, wrong direction. I
Uh,
don't know where the fuck
What's
I'm
the worst
supposed to
you've
be
ever
pointing.
played?
There we go.
But there's nothing like New York City as far as, but now, of course, you got a lot of cool bands out of Chicago and all that stuff, but there's something special about New York City. Another one on this. You guys remember Tommy Gunn? You guys know
What's
Tommy Gunn?
Yeah, I do.
He did some great promoting back in the day. I think he's still around. But he made that sound special, too.
Yeah.
Guys like Tommy Gunn, Don Hill, you have the Limelight. It's Limelight Sanctuary, Cat Club. Don Hill's a scrap bar. There was something to do every night. And that feeds the rock and rollness of the town as well.
For sure. Angel, I'm just going to cut in for just a quick second because Ray, we had Alex Kane on the show recently. Did you guys have history with L'Amour's?
As a band, yeah, we played L'Amour's actually. The night that we played L'Amour's, somebody maced somebody. We came out on the first song, right? I'm leaning into the audience, and a girl was being harassed by somebody, so she maced him right in front of me, and I inhaled that shit.
Oh,
Never forget my first L'Amour's gig. You never forget it. We played there a few times. Always had a great time. That was George's club. That club has, that place had a lot of sort of, it had its own stank. You know what I mean? There's a certain funk from that place that just was raw and real and very cool, and it was very Brooklyn.
right on, man. Absolutely. Right up to you, Angel.
What's the weirdest place you've ever played?
Most definitely in the book. Let me see. The weirdest place. Well, every gig has a certain sense of strangeness to it, doesn't it? I'm gonna say, like, do you mean like the location or the room itself, or was just a weird gig?
Just a weird gig.
Now, this past run, we've had great venues and great places. So if we're gonna do that, that'd be somewhere back in the day. Now, what happens with back in the day memories for me is, I drank since I was about 12 years old. Did drugs most of my young adult life. So the memories I have are foggy. I will say that there was a gig though. It was we pulled up into a farm, and when I opened up the side of the bus window, there was nothing but farmland and grassland. Like you couldn't see nothing. Then you go to the other side of the bus, and there was like a farm / shack, and it's built on crates. There was lots of kegging going on. That was about the weirdest gig I ever did. As far as venue. And I'm sure there's more guys.
If you could put on your dream show. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
If you could put on a dream show with 3 bands, who would they be?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. Show with 3 bands. Well, Aerosmith is retiring. That sucks. I don't have to do that. And do you mean like in our genre? Or just in general?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a tough one.
Just in general.
Oh, well, I'm a fan of things like I love Tool, I love Deftones, but I also love Rival Sons and Dirty Honey. Rival Sons is the shit. I'm a huge fan of that band. I do like, you got the Bad Companies. You know what I mean? You got Paul Rogers. I couldn't make a choice like that. It's too many for me. It's too many. I would be happy just to be amongst anybody that wanted to be on stage, or in the same venue. That's a tough one, man. I'm gonna say Rival Sons is one though. These Sons.
Yes.
And
here's a bit of a tough one. If you can get 2 musicians in the studio to do one album.
What was that? Can you repeat that?
If you can get two bands in the studio to do one album.
Oh, wow. You're going to get some egos there. Let's see. Well, I would say Rival Sons and Bad Company working together. I'd like to see that. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
That'd be cool. Because to me, when I hear, is Jake, what's his name? Jacob? He's like Paul Rogers meets like Bono or something. He's a special singer, man. And the kid from Greta Van Fleet is an alien. He's from outer space or something. Because I've seen them twice now and they blow my mind. I didn't want to like them. I said this to somebody else too. I didn't want to like them. But when you see them live, it blows your mind how good they are.
Yeah.
And to me, he sounds like almost like Rick Emmett. So people say Zeppelin, but it's like if you put Triumph and Zeppelin together, that's what I think.
Fan wants to know, as your voice changes, what do you do to take care of your voice?
You got to give it care. You have to treat it like an instrument. Guitar players get to change their strings, bass players the same, drummers change their heads. You can't just like talk all day and expect it. You're gonna get strained. You know, like I have an experiment. If you take your you go wherever to the bathroom, you scream at the top of your lungs or talk at the top of your lungs for an hour and a half, or no matter what. You just do that and see how you feel afterwards. When you're done, you're strained. You're stretched to as far as you can go, right? That tension is a little rowdy. So you got to warm up, man. You got to find a nice warm up. Singing is all breathing, so it's a meditation. It's a lot of air. It's a lot of oxygen. You get high as fuck from it. You know, you got to warm up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not a lot. I warm up maybe 15, 20 minutes a day. I run the set when I'm in the mood. I run the set. I got on the bike. I run the set. I take it. That's how I have to take it now because it's serious. You know, it's like I just walk on. I can take a $100 jacket. Nobody's going to be cool. Look at me. No, it's like you got to be in the moment. So you got to just and sleep is a big one. On the road, if you don't see me anywhere, I'm napping. I'm napping hard, man. But that's the basics.
We got somebody that just
Oh, what's up, Rick?
My brother.
right. Rick, you gotta get on the show, Rick. Whoever I gotta talk to.
There's nobody like Rick DeLuca.
No, he just posted a message.
I have met so many people in this business, and there's no one. I'm telling you, no one like Rick DeLuca. He's an original, and you know, remember like how Terry Bozzio used to play?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Rick's the only drummer I know that plays rock, but he dances while he plays. It's like a thing to him, you know. And he's smiling. He's at the top of his game. When Rick's smiling, I'm smiling. You know what I mean? My brother's happy. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest Rick DeLuca fan there is, probably next to Rob.
Yeah, we actually have his drum head.
Wait,
she has her
my
his
drum heads. I'm the fan.
You talk to Rick, he lights up. He is like, you know, as corny as it sounds, he's like a ray of sunshine. And me and Rick had a band called Girls of 10 in the I would say late '90s, and we were drinking so heavy then. Oh my god, we both survived that. We've all survived it. We're still here, you know. I do like a glass of wine here and there, but I'm still here. I'm still alive and able to do this at a level that I like. You know, and I feel like I have to keep working and working and working at it. I want to be better all the time. I didn't have that kind of attitude when I was younger. You know, I took it for granted. So now that it's very special, and again, I'm gonna wax it. If you get the chance to do this, and people show up, and they're giving you their time, you have got to deliver. It can't be half-assed. It can't be some cliche bullshit.
You spoke of insecurity. Is there anything you would say about mental health and how it affects your music?
Yeah, man, because it bleeds into what you do. Anything that's happening here and here is going to bleed into the microphone, bleed onto the microphone, bleed onto the track. You know, so you can't just bury yourself in alcohol and drugs like we used to. You know, the reason things got so real with music was when the grunge came along, it was real. It wiped all the spandex and hairspray and bullshit off the face of the earth because it talked about real problems, you know. So it's about creating positivity. You know, if you are insecure, be with people that are going to lift you up. If you're insecure, you know, everybody has to work, not just you. Everybody around you has to understand that. You know, I'm a super hypersensitive person. Oh, you're so sensitive. I own it. I am. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Y'all know that I do when I talk. You know, especially when there's a gathering. I'm really like, this is the way it is, man. So I think if someone is having a hard time, I do the best to help. I wish I'd had the help when I just started recording. I had all these my mental issues. I was not the most confident person in the world. I was like a rabid dog turned loose. You know. So it's a big deal, man. I think you have to have your shit together. because people are going to see that. You can't hide anymore. And if you're going to be fucked up, no one's going to want to come see that. So take your medicine, if that's what it is. Do your meditations, whatever that any voodoo will work. Whether it's spiritual, whether it's God, whatever your thing is, you got to find your faith. You got to find your faith and get straight.
Amen.
Is there any separation from Ray as a performer or Ray as a friend? I'm sorry, and Ray as a friend.
Yeah, I think I'm genuine with people. I think I'm honest with people. I think there's a version of me that becomes extra, when I play, because you're the loudest person in the room. It's that thing where like sometimes the song will stop and people just say, "What are you going to say?" But you have to be. I think it all goes together. Like I can't go to the grocery store and say, everybody say hell yeah, put your hands up. I can't do that, but I can go to the room and rock out, and it's built for that. I think you are who you are. I'm myself when I'm not playing, as I am when I'm playing. I'm just my most true version of myself when you guys see me play. Because you're naked, you can't hide from people unless you're wearing a mask or you're doing like a shtick of some kind. You know what I mean? So I think there's no separation really. I think I just when I go on and you guys see me, I just put it on 11. My kid says I'm extra though. Brandon says I embarrass him all the time.
I think it's probably safe to say that the little monsters say that about Psycho Steve, don't they?
Absolutely. Good evening, Raymond. How are you?
I'm good, man. This is good. Always great to chat with you, my brother.
Absolutely. Same here, man. So I was going to piggyback off of that because you being a dad, I'm being a dad. Does Brandon think you're cool?
Here's the funny thing. Brando's now 20, right?
Oh my God! I remember
his girlfriend doing his thing. So we were scheduled to play a show in Melbourne, Florida, and that show didn't work out. So we needed a room really quick. So we got moved to Fort Lauderdale, which is I was raised. I was born in Brooklyn but raised in Fort Lauderdale. So Brando showed up. I think when Brando was little, he thought I was cool until I was corny dad when he got older. I was like, Dad, calm down. But he was there the other day. I had my father show up at this gig. Brando was there with his girlfriend, my father's wife, and everybody I knew from when I was a kid in Fort Lauderdale to now, whether they liked me or they hated me, were in that room the other day. And Brando was like, I had to shine for the kid, So he said to me, I'm so proud of you. So I think he thinks I'm okay. I don't think he thinks I'm cool, but I think he thinks I'm okay.
Right on.
That's right.
Because no one's as cool as Brando.
Yeah, I try to impress my kids all the time, but they like nod their head, smile, and wave, or roll their eyes at me, be like, "Okay, Dad, sure."
They see everything. They got so much. They got access to all this information that we didn't have when we were kids.
Right.
So they know everything. They see everything. Porn is like a normal thing in their society. It's like you can't. They've seen it all, man. So they got. I would hate to be. Not that I hate. I just think it's probably hard to be a young person at this time.
Absolutely. So, like, I just took them because they came up to visit me. I took them to the Party Groff, the Bret Michaels, Steve O'Jerry, Night Ranger, Jefferson Starship, Mark McGrath of Sugar Ray show. My wife texted me, "Why did you take them that?" And I said, "Well, first of all, it's called culture. I want to introduce them to different genres of music because I've taken them to like Broadway plays. I've taken them to rock. I've taken them to pop. They didn't like the pop music because my ex-wife took them to kids pop when they were younger, and they called me crying hysterically, saying they had.
Pop's always going to be for the kids. Pop is it's like candy. It's always for the kids. They'll always have.
So I took them to the show. I said, "You guys will know some of the songs you won't know." And then, of course, Jefferson Starship comes on, and I showed them the movie Mannequin years ago. So, of course, they did, We Built This City. And they're like, "Oh, we know that song. That was in that movie with the girl from Sex and the City." I'm like, "Yes." And then, they heard Brett Michaels comes on and does a couple Poison songs. And they're like, oh, yeah, we know that because Hair Nation. I'm like, yeah. And then like, oh, Steve O'Jerry. I'm like, yeah, Tall Stories, Typetto, Journey.
Yeah, keeping things going on. Passing it down is a beautiful thing. When you see someone's father come to the show, they bring in their kid. A lot of my friends are granddads now. It's my son, his son, and it's an awesome thing to pass down. Our generation, the music we grew up with, the 70s music, even the 80s, was a special time, man. So, Brand's like in love, like he loves all that music. He's like, he loves the Eagles and all that stuff. So I'm proud that I got that instilled in him. So you got to pass it down. The kids got to know, because it was organic. At a time there wasn't tracks. There wasn't people just faking it all the time. Now people were making real music.
Right. Well, because I'm Psycho Steve, so my kids had to come up with nicknames for themselves. Well, because my youngest son's name is Charlie, and he charms the shit out of my fiance, so he goes by Charming Charlie. And then
Psycho Charlie.
Yes, Charming Charlie. And then Jack is like, well, if my dad's Psycho Steve, I'm Jacko the Wacko. I'm like, okay. So I'm like,
I don't know about that one.
So, but then, so the question is, now you talked about this new album I heard it because I was driving home. You said that Deco is going to be putting out an album with All Points West, and it's called, I heard it, but it broke up when I was driving.
It's called Superfly.
Superfly. Awesome.
I always thought APW was boring, the names, the songs, the way they sat were never really pushed. And so I said, let me just have a clean slate with it. Nobody knows it really, so it's going to, and what I needed was really great marketing. Nowadays we don't need, if you have a great way to make records,
right,
you don't need to worry about production and stuff like that. You just need a good marketing team and a label to get it out on. So we're self-contained, right. And Charlie and Bruce at Deco are really sweet. And now I have a team, and it's not just the band. Like now we have management, we have things like that, like things that it takes to really make something happen. But the thing that's important, I believe in the music so much that I pushed for Deco. I said, come on, I need help getting this out, And then they heard it and they were like, we like this stuff. This is cool. So awesome. that means a lot. And then, for someone else to be like, well, I'll come in, I'll help manage it. And this someone who I admire a lot and have huge respect for, and they heard it and they're like, I want to work on this. So, when in your heart that something's good.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. So I just feel like it has to get out. If people don't like it as much as I do, that's cool. I love it and I have the chance to get it out. And then from this, we'll probably do another record, and it's in the style that I love. That it's different. It's outside of Spread Eagle, and it's rock, but it's heavy and it's moody and it's me.
Nice. And then speaking of Spread Eagle, because COVID happened, you really didn't you got promotion and you got a nice push from Frontiers being on it. Can we expect you to get another album out of Frontiers?
That's all in talks right now. So it's about timing, really.
Okay.
When that talk comes around and everybody comes back to the table, that's something that has to be worked out. You know what I mean? Okay. Because there's a few hands in the fire now. It's not just one avenue. And now that we're doing more work, we sort of we get more people at our table. You know what I mean? So it's right. There's some choices. So we're not just Frontiers are great. They're a great company. They seem to put out a lot of music. My thing is I really want someone to care and put care into what we're doing and not just be part of a massive stable, So it's good that we just get the right people because, we're just having fun with this, man. Rock and roll is not a huge living. You get out, it's like you get by, it's not pretty. So I'll have a meeting with whoever will sit down with us who really gives a shit.
Absolutely, man, 100%. To kind of piggyback a little bit off of what Steve was asking about, like, what's with Frontiers for the new music and stuff like that. The thing that I find that is always kind of interesting to hear about is like when your first your first two records came out on MCA, and then Subway came out on Frontiers. How is it about a record label that releases an album now that may have differed from late 80s, early 90s when, your first two records came out?
Well, you
If
had a massive
there's any
machine.
differences.
Yeah, you had a massive machine behind you. I mean, MCA at the time, when they signed us, they were starting their rock and roll division. They had the classic rock, they had the Who and all that stuff, but to get into the market of the Motley Crues and the Guns N' Roses and get into that, the MTV generation of rock and roll, they had, you had the marketing department, you had the publicity department, you had somebody for everything. There was an office for everything, and it was all, it was a machine. So now it's all about having someone who knows how to be social media savvy, knows how to do all the spidering out of things without being fake. So you need a really good distribution machine, to get the word out. So it's almost like if you were doing just like a social media campaign or marketing campaign, selling a product. You know what I mean? You have to find the best way, the best person to market it, and and you need a great marketing person and someone who's very savvy. So it's a different model, man. And there's no more tour support. No one hands out tour support and gives you bus money. It's such a different thing. And it's no longer like, we don't really deal with radio. Radio got killed. These bands that spend all this money on the active rock charts, just to make themselves happy, so they can say, "Look at me, I'm number 20," and no one knows who the fuck my band is. It's about how are you really going to shine? How is someone really going to help you? And how does Spread Eagle get marketed? These guys that used to be on MCA, now they got this music, this new music. Like, who are they? How do we get them out? So it's an ever-ending learning process. So it changes every day. You have to learn something new every day. I hope that makes sense.
Oh no, absolutely. Because I mean, the thing that I find so interesting is so much how times have changed. Because music videos nowadays, they are still a thing, but back in the late 80s and the early 90s, they were really a thing. Because you had Switchblade Serenade, you had Scratch Like a Cat, you had all of those things and it was about the record sales that led into the touring. And of course, that's still a thing nowadays. But now it seems like it's more platforms driven, which really seems to enhance singles. So Angel and I have talked to many guests over the last couple of years that seem that a lot of their bands seem to benefit from the release of singles since it's so platform driven now. What's kind of your take on that? Do you think that there's an advantage to maybe going by singles, or are you still more of a full release kind of guy?
I like this new method because also what's happening because a single you could do one at a time. Because I think in Japan they still like the long form. But it just changed. It's about attention spans. Back in the day, let's take this question and break it down. Back in the day, the videos, you got a lot of money to make one, right? But nowadays, with software and a good camera, anybody can make a video. Every kid that's got a garage band or some kind of software at home can make some songs. It's cool, but man, my album drops tomorrow. It's gonna come out on SoundCloud. It's like anybody can be a rock star, right? So now you've got to, once again, you just got to learn how to do it yourself. It's very DIY. It's very do it yourself. If you know some person that has great skills at making video and won't charge you up the ass, get them into the game. It's about getting all hands on deck. But it's changed so much. You don't need all that money. You want that money, but you don't. That's not how it's done anymore. They don't just throw money away. Now it's really about marketing. So you need. I like the idea of doing singles or maybe 2 songs at a time or something like that. I love that idea because it really lets you concentrate and lets you see. You kind of it's a way to bait people. It's how it works now. I'm going back and forth. It's how it's like piecemeal. Here's that. Here's another one. Here's another one. There's no really choice in it. So I still like the idea of giving people a whole bunch of tunes and they can listen at their own leisure. it's just a different people market. I like a whole album, but I understand having to do a single and then waiting a little bit and doing it again. And those are most of the bands that, really don't have a track record. They're just trying to gain an audience and things like that. But I'm a fan of, like, I still love the video as a medium. It's a great way to tell a story. But once again, it's everything now is a tool to get you to come to the live show, to get you to listen to the music.
Right.
It's just changed. And everybody I meet has a better way to do it. So I wish I could tell you there was some magical way that I would do it, but I'm just sort of following the numbers and it's going by feel. I know what I've learned too is that, for us, the Spread Eagle Band, our thing is the live show.
Yeah.
We won't stream anything because that's fucking stupid. Unless it's an acoustic show. I'm not going to sing to an empty room, tell you to raise your fucking hands when you're not there. So I want to create a live event. That's it. I think that's what it is, You're going to find, you'll know who the desperate people are. Because they're the ones that are streaming everything. This is us, we're doing our set tonight at 9 o'clock, and no one's there. Or they do a gig at a bar and there's 3 people. I believe in the peer-to-peer. So at this point in my life, touring is how you have to do it. If you're not a touring band, you won't succeed. Unless you're this magical Greta Van Fleet machine that has some magical shit happen, via the internet, via TikTok or whatever, like Kim Dracula, all those cool new kids, But have you guys heard of Kim Dracula yet?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I was like, every generation has that dude that comes around, a girl that comes around and just does it like right. And he's like pushing every boundary, the video violence boundary, the way the songs are edited, the production. And I'm blown away by that shit. Getting back, but it's a touring business. If you're not getting people to your channel, getting their attention, you're not doing it. It's about getting your attention. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever there is, YouTube, making content. We don't do too much content, but at the same time, we're on the road. We do a lot of videos, take snapshots. But I really think I like being a touring band. For me, I want to sing every day. I want to rock out every day. I want to go to the venues. That's the lifestyle. I love that. So if I can keep making that happen, I'll be successful.
Absolutely, for sure. And before I kick it back up to Angel and Joanne, to kind of stay for a split second longer on the MCA thing, I'm kind of curious, like when you look back at when you guys signed with MCA, how do you remember that being such a New York dominant driven band when so many East Coast bands were going to LA to make it?
When we were playing in the city, there was a few bands around that were really, Raging Slap, Law and Order, Battalion, Skin and Bones. There's a lot of great bands in the city. At the time, we had a lot of great venues, so we didn't have to go to LA. That's how we felt. We were in New York, we got this, Little did we know that LA was the center of the universe at the time, and we should have all gone there, of course. And we did. But I just think, man, New York is so much a part of what we do. At the time, and the MCA came in, and they, like I said, everybody got signed at once. It was like they signed a bunch of bands, and they just threw it up against the wall and see what stuck. MCA signed us. We now call them the Music Cemetery of America. I've said this. I think I said this to someone else. The day that we signed the contract, you would think that we'd be jumping up and down for joy, right? So we're in this big ass room. It's dark. It's like I would tell you, it's like the scene from Devil's Advocate. The stack of things to sign is this high, and we're all like signing and signing and signing and signing and signing. And just the more you sign, the more blood gets strained from your body, And man just says, "You guys should be happy as fuck, man. You're signing a record deal at MCA." I'm like, this feels weird. It was just dark, man. We made the most of it because we were young and crazy. So young guys coming out of New York City, getting signed, getting on the bus, getting the record plant, go, 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 go. It was the best one of the greatest life experiences I've ever had. Not too many people get to experience that. And it sticks with you for a long time. But MCA dropped the ball, man. They didn't know what to do with us, or a lot of other bands at the time. At the time they should have put out the Switchblade video. They got scared off. They put out, another band's video instead. It was like more, let's call it easy listening. Yeah, but MCA, you're hungry. So when you're hungry, you get the carrot dangled in front of you. You're not going to hesitate. You're not going to be like, wait, let me get my lawyer. You're going to take whatever lawyer's in the room, whatever they give you, because you're stupid. You're not thinking. I wasn't raised where I was like, you need a lawyer. You need a lawyer. You need your lawyer. Not someone's lawyer hired for you. You need your lawyer. Someone who cares about you. And we learned that lesson the hard way. So we signed a big ass fucking Bible. They took our money. They took our underwear. They took our clothes. And they let us play rock and roll.
Absolutely, for sure. And was there and the one other thing too about like that time as well is like, did you ever feel that you guys really never came across as like the whole like big hair thing? Because also you guys did come out with the release of Spread Eagle in like 1990, where you guys kind of snuck in at the end of what you would have called glam, right? A few years before, Angel's favorite genre, grunge, came in. And but no, like when it came to that time of popping off, right before what was the changing of the guard, did you ever feel like there was something about the fact that you guys weren't overly hairsprayed out that made you feel that you would be able to ride the wave, or did you get kind of lumped into where you felt you got squashed a little bit?
No, well, what it is, we weren't a glam band. We weren't here. We had the hair, but we weren't a glam band. It's like we were a heavy, hard rock band in the same cut of jib as like a Skid Row or Guns N' Roses. We played gigs like at Concrete Foundation where we played alongside Pantera. We could get aggressive live. We played with Body Count and all those other bands. But a lot of bands got clipped. Here's what happened to us. We had a chance to make a third record. We were making the demos for the third record. We were going to go to CBS or Columbia or something like that. And that's when he just left the table. You understand? So what happened with me, I'll be straight up honest with you. What happened with me was I got really disenchanted with the business. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be because the people around me were making it difficult for me to be myself. So what I thought was the best thing to do for me was to leave the business. So when we had our chance to make a third record, it was going to be heavy, because the second record they said to us, well, do you want to make $150,000? Or do you want to sell 150,000 copies? Or do you want to sell 1 million copies? And when someone says that to you, and you're just off your first record, and you're pushing, you're going to do whatever, you're going to do. It gets in you. It gets in your head. I think Open to the Public was a great record. I think it was ahead of its time. That's what I think. And you just left the table. So, but the bands that were in that genre did get cut off because it's all in abstract. If people see grunge coming in and you're not that, then it's like going to push to the top. Whether it's MTV, the Grammy, and Billboard magazine, they all got pushed to the side. It doesn't matter how great you were. You could have been the best. But if you already had a track record with MTV, Skid Row, Guns N' Roses, then you were safe. If you had your 15 minutes of fame with MTV, you were safe. All those bands that had their 15 minutes all play the boats.
Yeah.
There's a circuit for that. So, but we got caught in it, man. We got this, in the time of being like, at that time, I was friends with the guys in Alice in Chains. I thought they were just incredible because I got it. You hear the Alice in Chains record, and I say this in every interview I talk. That's what changed me. I was like, man, this is the way it should be done. I get it. So it made you want to be even more heavy or a little more darker. And we were like that naturally. Because we always took everything in, and at the time, Paul was like, our guitar player was like, he would hear something and he would sort of bring it into the mix, that kind of gift, But when it's a changing of the guard, and when you go to a show and you see Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, all playing together, and you're like, oh fuck, that's really fucking good, I would go see that more than I would go see that. It was honest, I get it, Life wasn't pretty. and things were changing. And being young was crazy, man, and honest. So Kurt Cobain comes along and wipes everybody off the face of the earth because he's honest. You know, and you can't hide behind your spandex. And your Jack Daniels if you're cool if it wasn't that way. So the changing of the guard did affect it. Were we a glam band? No. So we get lumped into that because we were at the tail end of it. You know, because that's what happens. So, you know, oh, yeah, we were kind of cute as kids, you know. So it's like, why not? You know, they got the hair and glam band, you know, glam rock, which was more Motley Crue at that style at the time, you know. And we weren't a grunge band because we had that, you know, all these sound was we were a hard rock band. We were an aggressive hard rock band. And we left the table. Paul and I met one day and said, you know, I just said I didn't like the people that were handling it. So for me to do that was to say, fuck you, I'm out of here. You can take whatever I had, make it yours. I'm out of fucking here. I felt I'd love for you to do.
For sure, man. Absolutely. Angel, Joanne, let's kick it up to you guys for a bit again.
More fan questions. What music?
You cut out on me.
I'm sorry. What musician made you want to be a musician?
Ooh. Well, so many when you're growing up in there. It's like Ian Gillan, you know, Glenn Hughes. Glenn Hughes is amazing. You know, you see him as a kid. John Waite. All those cool tonal singers, man. And my thing is, I love Tina Turner. I thought Tina Turner was the greatest rock singers on the face of the earth. Her edge, her vicious delivery. Steve Marriott from Humble Pie. So it was everyone. You know, I watched this. When I was a kid, we had a show called The Midnight Special. And that preempted MTV. That was like the first video live rock variety rock show. Came on at midnight. And if you sat in front of the TV, that was your babysitter, you know. Seeing Kiss. But as far as singers, oh man. You know, it's Elvis, it's Michael Jackson, you know what I'm saying? It's Tina Turner, it's Frank Sinatra, it's and as you get older, you discover Ozzy, you discover Ronnie James Dio, you know, and that all affects you. But you know, I was my father listened to a lot of rock, you know, he turned out to Zeppelin and also Motown. So I love a lot of Motown music. So I love, you know, Marvin Gaye, James Brown. But the first, like I said, I've drank a lot and done a lot of drug miles, so it's hard to remember. But you know, Leo Sayer. I mean, I'm going way back. You know, I'm a fan of voices, and the Midnight Special. Rod Stewart is a big one. So we can say Rod Stewart and Tina Turner.
Oh.
Those are the two of them.
Great ones to pick.
And there's no one like Rod Stewart. You think about it. That voice, there's never been another one to come along. Like, that guy was special. Tina Turner was special. Still is special. Even though we lost.
I got a fun question from Brian. When you're on tour, how often should you feed your bassist?
He's pretty good. Ours feeds himself, so he's good. He's pretty he's self-cleaning. You know? Like, it's funny. Food's, you know, it's tough on the road because you got to try to find time to eat it. You know? It's tough, man. If you're especially if you're flying a lot, airplane food sucks, doesn't really exist anymore. When you land at the airport, a hamburger costs you $20. You know, a bottle of water costs you $10. You got to be healthy. You got to find ways to eat right. It's very difficult.
First overseas.
What else you got?
Who and what song?
One more time.
If you could sing on a guest spot and sing a song with any band, who would it be and what song?
Oh wow. It would have been Van Halen. It would have been Atomic Punk.
Nice.
Let's talk about Van Halen for a second.
Sure.
Van Halen changed everybody's life because they changed the live performance game, right? I mean, when you saw Van Halen as a kid, it was like going to the circus. David Lee Roth was born in Bailey, and Eddie was the man on the flying trapeze. You know, there was nothing like that. What a great thing.
Well, what was your first band, and what was that like?
My first band, my real first baby band was called Diamond Needle. I had the baddest drummer in the neighborhood. I had the baddest guitar player in the neighborhood. And we would do, and the bass player. We would do like, when I was a kid, that's like I'm bragging. I hate it. So if we played a battle of the bands as a kid, I never lost one. So I always thought that was kind of cool, you know. That's when you're like, this is something I can get into, you know what I mean? It was called Diamond Needle. We thought we were the bee's knees. I said the bee's knees like I'm my mom. That's funny. We played locally in Florida. We were young. We played peggers. We played house parties. And then I had another band called Cinema. It was kind of like almost like a cover band. That was like during the 80s. We did a lot of like, you know, those covers. But Diamond Needle was my first like real original band.
Go ahead, you got a fan question.
That question, yeah.
Go ahead.
So, you talked a lot about touring and how important that is. Is this upcoming European tour Spread Eagle's first European tour?
No, we got to go in 2017. That's what kind of was the catalyst for us with Frontiers and recording those Subway to the Stars record, because that kind of got us a little bit of some more eyes on us. You know, people were like, "Oh, it's that band. They're still around. Let's make some music." So the one thing that I loved about it was I thought the food was great. We all travel well together, so that's key too. You know, but that was fun. So this time, I'm really excited to go to, like, you know, not just, you know, a few places in London or the UK. I'm excited to do the whole damn place. We're going to go to Germany. We fly into Belgium. You know, it's like, even when I say it, you know, it cracks me up because I'm actually talking about it. You know what I mean? Fred didn't get to go, and it's when we should have gone to Europe, we didn't get to go. So it's special for us. I've heard about how great the audiences are, how much they love rock and roll, and it's like, you know, it's like rock and roll never left the building, and I really understood that in 2017. There are bands here in the States that you wouldn't think were major that are true, you know, do very well over there. You know what I mean? Guys, you know, one of my favorite bands out of LA was a band called Love Hate, and Jizzy.
Oh, yeah. Jizzy.
He's always going over there, from what I know. You know, I saw him in 2017, and when I saw the reception he got, I was like, "Holy shit!" You know, this is fucking cool. And obviously we got to play, and there was people that were like, we thought, what I get a lot is we thought we were never going to see you guys play live. We never thought we were going to see this Ready Go show. So they were super appreciative. We kind of felt our oats there, and we said we just got to get back. And now we're going back, and it's like, it's a full month, so it's going to be interesting, you know, what happens when we get through and we get done. Because then we have other gigs the rest of the year, and they asked us to go on the Monsters of Rock cruise next year, which blew my fucking mind because we've never done it before. And I think we're the only band to not play the damn thing. So I think things are going to, you know, I think going to Europe's going to help us. You know, and I think once we do this run there, we'll probably be able to go back again and make it a yearly thing. Yeah, there's the tour. Remind me that I don't get a break. Great. Great.
Just bring your tea, bring your lemon and honey, and take care of that voice.
That's it. And I'll be quiet. You know. Anyway, this is really cool, guys. I really appreciate the time.
Of course, man.
You guys waited so long.
No.
But like I said before, the work you put into it nowadays will pay off, but you got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to leave the house, and it's difficult because most people that don't do this for a living, you know, and just want to put a band together, you know, they have to play locally. You can't just hop somewhere and go leave town. You know, it's great to get paid to do this because it gives you an opportunity to go places and make things happen. You know, as compared to like back in the day, you had to, some people had to pay to play and things like that, or buying onto a tour. That's hokey shit. You know, the reason you see a band that sucks opening for someone, and I've never heard of them, is because they paid to be there.
Yeah.
You know, so we're proud that we're not having to do that, and we're just going on our own thing and building our own, you know, paving our own way again. You don't get too many shots at this stuff. So to get a second go around in life and to have fun with it means everything, because I could be gone tomorrow. This shit ain't promised, man. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy to meet everybody and shake hands and just make new friends, because for lots of years I just hid away from everything. I didn't want to be a part of it, and now it's like it's everything. It's everything. And then, like, I'm making lots of money, but enough, you know. I'm able to eat
For sure.
and feed
You
my
might
baby.
not be making lots of money, but you're making lots of fans.
Hey, man, you know, I used to have a hard time with, like, you know, promoting, you know, check us out on Instagram, you know, come to the merch table, and, you know, but when you realize that we don't exist without you, and that we need fans to support, it becomes financial, you know, to buy the shirts, you know, and they tell their friends, and it gets interesting, you know, and it becomes like one big organization, one big organism, you know, because we all want to be a part of something, right? So that's what we're trying to do. So why not be a good person?
What was the first show that you ever went to?
The Eagles Hotel California tour. Yeah. I was a very young tot. My best friend's mom and dad, his father was in a band. They were in a band. And my mom was real. I thought my mom was beautiful and cool, but she was kind of square. And it was like, oh yeah, you mind if your son goes with us to this, you know, to the movies or something? I think it was something like that, but I got away with it. So they took me to the Eagles, man. It was cool. And you know, I don't know how old I was. You know, you see people smoking weed, and it's just, for your first experience to be in a place like 30,000 people and you experience the Eagles, that changed me. You know, or put me on a direction, on a path between Midnight Special, going to see the Eagles, and then seeing Kiss after that. Set me on a course for a lot of trouble. And I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing. I would change the 7 rehabs I've been to, but other than that, I wouldn't change it.
Real quick, what was the member of Kiss when you saw them live that spoke to you? Was there a particular Kiss member that triggered Ray West?
Yeah, there was something about Ace Frehley's vibe that affected me. Like when I wore the Kiss makeup as a kid, I dressed up as Ace.
Ah.
You know, we all came. One of my friends came over to my house. We'd go on the Kiss records and air guitar to it. My friend Steven would be Paul Stanley, and my black Jamaican friend Peter would be Gene Simmons. It's pretty fun. I know I got stuck with that, but that spoke to me. Something about just being like reserved and kind of like in the moment, but you know, being a part of it. Because Ace was like Paul's in your face, Gene's in your face, and Ace was just like flowing in the frequency.
Right.
You know, I just thought that was cool. Like he was just a part of it without having to be over the top. And I took that to heart. It's not a little bit extra, but that was mine. And then I got to meet him when I moved to New York City, at a place called The Loft. He was kind of partying a little bit when I met him. And, he said, "You want to meet Ace?" Dude, it'd be amazing. He was in the corner, getting very let's say he was leaving his lunch on the floor.
Yeah, like Ace was reserved, but he was still kind of kooky. So,
Yeah.
So you got that Space Ace vibe.
Yeah, I was like, you know, a little freak like me, you know, who feels like an outsider, That's what it got me. That was my connection with it. You know what I mean? And then the silver boots.
Absolutely, 100%. Angel, Joanne, let's kick it back up to you guys for a bit, of course. Fans, it is last call for alcohol. You guys have been doing great. The questions to Ray have been fantastic, but this is your time to pump in your final questions, your final comments, anything that you want Ray to talk about or answer for you guys. Now's your time to pop it into the comments. So don't be shy. We will get to all of it. So we appreciate you fans, as always, for tuning in. But when it comes to your questions and comments to Ray, last call for alcohol. Right back to you, Angel and Joanne.
Interesting question, right? How do you feel about musicians who are in it for a business versus musicians who are in it to share their art?
Like I said earlier, I've met some of these guys that are in the business, you know, in bands just for business. They don't count. They're not who I would spend money to go see because it's fake. It's fugazi. I would much rather go see the artist. There is a difference. I've known because I've met both of those people, both of those kind of bands, you know. So to me, you know, it is an art. It's about being authentic. It's presenting something. You don't just get up there and we don't sing about partying, you know, like we used to. You're creating art. You're creating a place for people to go. Why just go? You know, if you're in this for the money, if you're showing up just to get paid, it's not real. It's not like, I get it. It's a living. You want to make food. You want to eat, take care of your mortgage. That's all. It's understandable. But there's an emptiness to that those guys have. You know, when you see them when they get off stage, they're not happy people. Oh, I got to go fucking do. I got to go work. If it's work, you're doing it wrong. Yes, it is work, but it's not your work. It's your art. It's your life. This is a lifestyle. So I know guys that play cover bands. I know guys that play in tribute bands. Some are happy. Some fucking hate it. You know, I know because I have these conversations. I've got a lot of friends that do this for, you know, make a living at it. But and some are, you know, it's the guys. It's if you do it and you love it. I know guys that play cover songs in church and they love it, and they're playing music and they're happy because they're rocking out. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? It's about having a good time. But the guys that just do this and looking at you like you're something, like you're a purse, if you're like your money. It's like a bartender. You know, they're really not being your friend. They want you to tip them. They want your money. You know, those guys are going to get found out. They're not going to be happy people. So long answer. But I have disdain for that kind of shit.
Totally.
You know, I let you know, it's not scruples or just living on principle. But if you're not authentic and you're not there because you genuinely care about people and want to show them a good time, that's what it's about. You know, you have a party at your house, you invite friends over. You're not going to sit there and help yourself. You know, you want to take care of people, and that's like the most noble shit there is.
Do you have any pet peeves when you're performing?
Well, number one, the fucking phones. I don't know why people can't be in the fucking room and enjoy that they're there. This whole thing about, I'm going to be a part of this.
Hey, look at me.
First of all, you look silly. Like you're fucking doing some sort of fucking salute, you know, hell phone. You know, it's like, and the video quality that people come up with is shit. I can't say how many times I have thought I had a good set, sounds great in the room, and I hit the video here. And someone's got the video, or the camera's right here on my fucking nose. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Who's gonna watch that? But everybody has their something. Everybody wants to be part of the show in their own way, and the phone's a big part of that. So now I accept it. You know, like once again, if you're in the room with me and you're there, I love you. Got the phone? All right, but don't keep it up the whole time. And go to a good place where it's going to sound good. I don't want to hear your shit videos. And stop making me look fat. I don't want to see any of that shit. Because I'm not fat. And another piece. Let's find it. Oh. The people that feel it's cool to let me know that they're having a conversation with someone else while I'm gigging. If you don't want to be there, or you're too cool to be in the pit, and you need everybody to look at you because you want to have a conversation, get the fuck out. Show some love.
For sure. For sure.
I'm
You know,
with you
because
on that.
everybody, and it's usually the guy that's just like he's with his girlfriend and he's mad at her. And like, dude, if you're not into this, then just go to the back of the room. It's cool. I am very aware of people when I play. You guys, I'm super aware. You know, you survey the room, you read the room, and luckily I know how to read. I'm so serious.
Going back in time to New York City, CBGBs or Maxis?
CBGBs, great sound. That place was like a toilet with no stall and a stage, and a great sound system. Right? Some places, oh man, it's all about the green room. The room is beautiful, but CB's was all about the sound. It was as bare as you could get. All that mattered was it was a beautiful system. So many bands did live recordings there because it was CBGBs. You know what I'm saying? Acoustically, the room was perfect. There's something about it. There was, once again, sometimes a room is just a room, unless there's, you know, it depends on the people in the room, but CB's had a personality to it. And it was just a stage, a great PA, and a toilet with no stall.
And what's your favorite one line from one of your songs? That's a good question.
It's a very good question.
I was strolling out underneath the moonlight. City heat depression was burning my eyes. I always love that. Because it's so like, it can be so many different things to different people, you know? And I also dig, there's a hole in my pocket where my money used to be. In the song called Broken City. That's what I like about that lyric is it got some sort of street swagger to it. You know? Everybody interprets different lyrics in their own way, but when I sing something, I enjoy, you know, you reinvent the lyrics every time you sing them. You know? So every one of them is my babies. So I don't have one that I like more than the other, but I just feel certain points in tunes, I just listen to the lyric and it makes me feel a certain way. It feels good. It's like put on a cool pair of shoes or a great shirt. It's just like you feel like you're supposed to be in that thing. A great lyric is like, you know, it's like the perfect feeling. You know?
Nice. Actually, Lori, that was a really cool question, Lori. Actually,
Yeah.
between what, like Angel and I have done over 200 episodes, like 200 interviews together between official TMS episodes and the stuff we've done at M3, and I thought that was pretty cool. I think that was the first time that we've actually had a fan, like, you know, get like a specific, you know, lyric in their catalog that stands out to them. I think that was very, very cool.
Yeah, and let me say also, like when I bring it to, I got rats in the kitchen because it's visual and it's honest. And it's true, you know. So the cool thing, we wrote lyrics. You can get behind your lyrics and not just feel like you're regurgitating stuff. It's a good vibe, you know, because I would hate to sing lyrics that I hated, you know. Now I'm gonna do that fucking song again. We don't play hot sex, you know, but we're not doing that anymore. You know, we're not kids. That's one of those songs we're like, why'd you write that song, man? I'm like, well, at the time, that's all we knew. So you're right about what you know, and that was honest, you know. We were young, horny, and stupid.
Absolutely. Stay with it, Angel. Let's clear the board, my guy.
Okay, what is the most you've ever been paid for a show, and did it live up to your expectations?
Oh, that's a dangerous question.
Yeah, you want to talk about money, man. The most, the band's quote, we've had some good quotes. For me, you know, I think I walked out once with like, I'll be honest with you, for a set. I'm gonna say it's just $500 for like just a set, a set. So that's that. We're talking like 45, 50 minutes of work for $5.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool, because that's part of the mortgage. Depending on who you are as a band, what your name is like, the quote's different for so many people. I'm happy if I can get paid well, have to eat, travel in somewhat of creature comfort. It doesn't take much to make me happy. I used to be all about, I got to get paid. But then you realize it's not what it's about. It's not about, it's nice. But that's a funny question. You're not going to get a straight answer out of that question.
Yeah.
Stop thinking about
Andrew Freeman. No.
For real?
Andrew Freeman wants to know, what's your favorite Spread Eagle song?
He knows what it is. It's The Devil's Road.
Good song.
What's up, Andrew?
Is that good?
I should, because I was going to call him. He had an interview today. I said I was going to call him after I was done, and we're going like really late. So he's West Coast, so I'll call him after we're done. Andrew, I'll call you when we're done. And I love that. That dude is the most powerful singer right now on the planet. I'm telling you, he's my friend. But he can sing anything. We were in Vegas, and Andrew was there, and he had the mic most of the night. Just couldn't find him. He must be too the dog. And he's so loud.
For a ticket and did that.
He goes in so loud, man. It's amazing the kind of power that kid has.
Yeah.
Love you, Andrew.
And Andrew really does blow me away because you can just take 3 of the more upfront projects that fans know him from Dio to Lies, Deceit, and Treachery to I had it and then I just lost it. To Great White, which are all completely different vocal deliveries, and he just kills all of them.
He has developed into a very powerful, confident singer. And he's humble, cool, and I've reconnected with him in the best way possible. So the fact that we're in each other's lives is differently because we get to like shoot the fat about singing and equipment and gear and the Sennheiser question, the microphone question. You know what I mean? It's great to have someone in your life that's like that. But he's fucking powerful, man. My point was, so he came up and he jammed with us, and he sang my song louder than I ever could. I was like, fuck, man. I was like, he's great. That's it. So any band that works with Andrew, and he played me something today. What I dig about Andrew, he's developed his own, even he has so many bands, he's had so many songs to work with in different things. He's developed his own sound that I love. And a tone that's fucking awesome. And tone is very hard to, not many people can do that and do that kind of work. Good on you.
Yeah. Looks like he's got a follow-up there, brother. Why Devil's Road?
Lyrically, I think it just flows really well. Some lyrics you write, and they just feel weird coming out of your mouth later. It was an easy song to lay down. It's a very visual set of lyrics, and it speaks to the wanting to live forever, because having to sell your soul to live forever. But it's something we all deal with, so it's very close to my heart.
Nice, killer dude. Right up to you, Angel and Joanne.
Okay, this is going to be the second to last fan question, and I apologize to Jules for fucking up your question. What she meant to ask was, what's the most that you have paid to see a show? Yeah, that's what she meant.
Me? To pay to see a show?
Yeah.
Okay, the one thing about being in the band, I'll let you in on it, is most shows you don't have to pay to listen. Because you start to meet everybody. You start to meet tour managers and this and that, and when there's a band you want to see, you make a zillion calls. You know what I mean? What's everything? If I paid and I paid a lot of money, I guarantee you I was really drunk or stoned. I don't remember what that would be, but I don't recall ever really paid to see. I'm the kind of guy that, number one, I don't like these tickets that cost $100 to go see anybody. I don't care for Aerosmith. If I've seen a band in their prime when I was a kid for $35, I'm not going to pay $100+ to go see a fucking band. So you're priced out of my market. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. And I'm gonna leave the last fan question to Joanne. We get to do the last fan question.
I honestly, Ray was so kind and he answered all the questions I already had for him. And I just want to thank Angel as well as Jay for letting me sit in on this, because when I found out that Ray was going to be the guest, I was extremely excited. I've never sat in on a YouTube show of anything before, and I just want to thank you for taking the time to answer all the questions I had for you, Ray. I appreciate it. Can't wait to see you back at Dingbats in Clifton in
Right
December.
on, man. I love that room. Since last year, we started the annual Studio Christmas show, so I'm excited about the next one. I'll see you there, darling.
Yep, you were there.
And thank you for being so sweet.
I'll be there. I can't wait to see you again. I can't wait to see you again. You're awesome.
All right, save you a hug. Later. It's awesome.
No, absolutely. I mean, Ray,
Awesome.
We develop these friendships, man. It's not just showing up and playing a show anymore. It's not it. It's about like having a reunion every time. So that's what I want to develop. I want to hit places and leave this feeling, so we all go back to it. You know, it's like, how the fuck you been, man? That's what it feels. It should feel like that. You know, the gigs shouldn't feel like a hug. It should feel like you want to be.
Absolutely, man. 100% for sure. I mean, and Ray, as always, man, we can't thank you enough for, always being so cordial to us and, always being a member of the family and always being down for the experience. Because something that's always been really big, of course, to me and Angel every single week is that you had a good time and you felt respected, you enjoyed yourself, and that you liked the questions you were asked.
Yeah, man. We need each other, gentlemen and ladies. We need each other. This isn't like a separation of anything. It goes hand in hand. I love what I do. I love what you do. So I'm happy to be here and share with you guys.
Absolutely, Ray. Well, we appreciate you so much, man. But before we cut you loose, I'll let all the fans know where you can be found and where Spread Eagle can be found for tour dates, merch, all that fun stuff.
Well, we're on all the socials, whether it's Insta, Facebook, Twitter. Spreadeagle.us is our website. You can get the merch there, and we're always posting every day. So we're easy to find. When you put in Spread Eagle, it'll most likely come up as either us or some sort of porno site. So just, we're easy to find. And we respond to most messages. And the swag. See, the Spread Eagle shirts are important. People got to understand, I say this. These shirts are, well, you guys already know. They're biochemically engineered, right? Make you sexually attractive.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome shirts to wear.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It'll
I
get you
always look cool when I go out in public wearing a Spread Eagle shirt. So if you want to look cool, buy a Spread Eagle shirt.
You'll get you pregnant. I love it.
You know what I mean? It's like, if I thought about it. If you're having a hard time, like focusing on a test for school, you wear the shirt. I'm telling you.
Yes.
If you're in a movie and you can't, let's say that it's not your favorite movie and having a good time. Go get the shirt. Go back in.
I want to say something.
Absolutely.
Hey,
for
Ray,
sure.
I often wear one of my Spread Eagle shirts under my uniform shirt at work so I can advertise for you on the way in and on the way out. So,
Spread the word.
anybody in Matahawk and PetSmart sees me in a Spread Eagle shirt, you got to start listening to the music because Ray is amazing.
Brilliant. It's the way to be. One day we'll all be wearing Spread Eagle shirts.
Yes,
Yeah,
you do.
I love playing your music loud when I'm speeding.
All right.
That way I don't hear nobody. I don't hear the cops. I don't hear nobody.
A lot of people say that they work out to it. I can understand that. It'll get you going. It'll make you think. But once again, like, I'm happy people are listening, and this is important. It's special. I love it. Thank you guys.
Absolutely. 100%, Ray, and we appreciate you so much, man. And when the album comes out, you, Rob, Rick, you guys are absolutely completely welcome to come on anytime to talk about the new record, of course. But one final thing to to ask you before we cut you loose. Talk a little bit about Jami. He's been performing with the band recently and stuff like that. And you also had some advertisements out there for possibilities of maybe like another guitarist just kind of being involved with the band. Can you talk a little bit about Jami's involvement with the band, and also maybe clarify what you guys are looking and maybe another guitarist?
Sure. Well, what happens is, let's go back to the beginning. Zeev was part of this. He did the record with us. Zeev had a child, and he had a lot of life things that happened. And this is just, life goes on. So Jami was able to step in and he could ask for another study, which turned into a full-time job for him. Jami has been with us long enough. He helped us get this thing rolling. So now Jami lives in Italy. So there's a hardship with a lot of traveling for him and things like that, and some issues. So he thought it best, and this is how cool he is. If I'm having some issues and I got to stay around here for a while, I want you guys to find a new study and have somebody. So we did these, little audition things with the videotapes, and Hunter Peterson stepped up. And so Hunter is now our active guitar player. And for me, and I know you guys, the guitar playing in this band isn't just some like, I'm going to play 3 chords and rock out. It's got to be, it's a hard act to follow. These are big shoes. And Paul was a great creative guitar player, great studio guitar player. So we need someone that had great rhythm hand and great solo qualities. So it's been, we're at a point where we need a permanent guitar player to build. I don't want the identity to change so much. It's people are like, why the fuck? What's with the guitar players coming and going? But it's really a matter of like how things just work out. You need everything to fall into place. It's a lot of luck to find a great guitar player that can sit in with this band and own his part of the stage. So Hunter has stepped up, and if Hunter wants to be in, that's a conversation we're going to have, because we love Hunter Peterson. He did the show in Massachusetts with us. Then he came down to the shows in Florida with us. And that was a big thing because, he could have just said, fuck you guys, and let us hang. But we had a great relationship with him. And luckily we've had some guitar players that have wanted to be in this band. And we're lucky enough to have people that want to audition. And it's nice to have that. And it's nice to have choice. So Hunter is going to go to Europe with us, which should tell you a lot. So hopefully Hunter remains with the band. And if, Jami decides something's different, then that's going to be a conversation to have down the line. But right now, whoever is on stage with me is my guitar player.
Sure.
So Hunter right now has this gig. It's his gig to lose, right? And when you meet him, you'll see that he's fucking cool, smart, and cocky as a motherfucker when he wants to be. He's got swagger, and he'll tell you I'm telling you, he's just cool, So I hope that whoever is with us, will want to stay. I think we're easy to get along with, It's just really a matter of like more people are out in their lives. This isn't like something most people can't just pick up and do. A lot of people can't just leave their lives and go to Europe for a month. So that says a lot to me about him and who he is. And his playing says a lot. He's just getting started with us. I think by the time we start rolling halfway through our journey in Europe, he'll be on fire. We'll all be on fire. So I hope that he stays, and I hope that Jami, gets his thing organized, and I wish him the best of luck. I love Jami. He was our brother, still is our brother. If I could, I would take them both. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But we are only one guitar player. We're not a 2 guitar player band. We never have been, never will be. We like the classic Van Halen formation. I think it's powerful when 4 guys can just get up there and just boom to the head, and that's this. So that's where I'm at with that. I hope I haven't twisted it up too much. I was really just being honest with you, and Hunter Peterson right now is going to go.
No, That's awesome, Ray. We appreciate it, man, so much. Absolutely. Angel, anything final from yourself there, my guy, before we cut Ray loose for the evening and let him talk to Andrew?
He's 3 hours behind, so he'll answer the
No,
phone
just
too.
appreciate
We
it.
text him. Yeah, I'll call him back right now. I'm gonna call you. Yeah, there we go. And let me go back with something real quick before I go. You asked me about all my projects. You know, you mentioned
Mhm.
the weapons of the new gun. And I just want to nip this in the bud right now because I had no real issue with that band. Like I said, I thought we wrote some great stuff. I was just surprised that they did release a video of their band miming to my vocal track, and I'm flattered by it. You know what I mean? I'm flattered by it. It's my voice is my value. My lyrics and melodies are my value. It's what I bring to the table. It's you know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
I've moved on from that. So I really didn't want to really give it any attention, you know, because I'm doing my thing and it's important. And Spread Eagle is where I'm at, and Suicide is where I'm at. And every band, whether it's Weapons, EPW Formation, has all been part of my makeup. It's part of who I am, you know. And like I said, I'm flattered that they want to continue with the work that I did, you know, and use it to rep them. Good for them. I'm happy that Spread Eagle is back doing its thing, and that is my main thing. You know, Spread Eagle is a big part of my identity. For years, I tried to walk away from it, but it's like that movie that pulled me back in. It's part of who I am. This thing that we do, this rock and roll thing, this whatever the fuck you want to call it, that makes people feel a certain way, is important because not everybody's going to pay. Right now, you don't got to pay $100 to go see Spread Eagle. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So take advantage of that. You know, you don't got to pay $15 for a beer. So I like playing the small rooms. I like meeting everybody, and it's been fucking life changing to do it again. Thank you.
Absolutely, brother, for sure. Well, Ray, thanks again, man. We can't appreciate you enough for coming back on the show and rocking out with us, and all of your kind words to ourselves in the show, and just getting to rap with us, man. And again, thank you so much.
Right on, man. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Absolutely. Have a great night, man. Take care. Best of luck with everything, and keep rocking out with Spread Eagle. And we can't wait to see you live again. Metal Summoners, thank you guys so much for supporting Ray, supporting Spread Eagle, and everything that they are doing. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. Make sure that you're following Ray on his socials, Spread Eagle on all of their socials. You can follow Angel both on Facebook and at Angel Alamo 78 on Instagram. You can follow me at Justin R&R Junkie on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook as well. Bobby Dreyer at BobbyDreyer.com and Psycho Steve at The Real Psycho Steve on Instagram. Thank you guys. As always, you guys take care. You have yourselves a fantastic weekend. Be good to each other. Support each other. Guest announcement for next week's episode is coming out over the weekend, and we will see you guys in a week. On behalf of Joanne and Angel, on behalf of myself, and on behalf of Ray West of Spread Eagle, we thank you guys as always. Take care. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you guys in a week. We appreciate you guys.